professor in our institute.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the 29th Lal Bahadur Shastri Memorial Lecture. I take special pride in welcoming our chief guest, Shri Venkaiah Naidu, former Vice President of India. Sir, it's a privilege to have you amongst us today. This event is being jointly organized by the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Memorial Trust and the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi. Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi is one of the prominent institutions in the country. The institute was established in the year 1995, keeping in mind the memory of late Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri. The institute currently offers 8 postgraduate management programs approved by the AICTE. Now, I would like to request our chief guest, Shri Venkaiah Naidu, Shri Anil Shastri, Shri Sunil Shastri, Mrs. Manju Shastri, Professor Praveen Gupta, and Professor A.K. Das to kindly light the ceremonial lamp and pay floral tributes at the portrait of Bharat Ratna Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri. I request all the dignitaries to kindly take their seats on the stage. May I now request Dr. A.K. Das, Director, Lal Bahadur Shastri National Memorial Trust, to welcome our chief guest. Thank you, sir. Now I request Shri Anil Shastri, Holding Trustee, Lal Bahadur Shastri National Memorial Trust, to deliver the welcome address. Please, sir.
Respected Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, Shri Sunil Shastri ji, trustees of the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Memorial Trust, members of the advisory body of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, and distinguished guests. I have had the pleasure of welcoming Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji in the past also on a few occasions. And again, it's a proud privilege for me to be extending a hearty welcome to Venkaiah Naidu ji tonight, to this evening, to this prestigious memorial lecture, which is the 29th memorial lecture in the memory of the late Prime Minister, Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri. As we all know, Shastri ji passed away in Tashkent. We have diplomats from Uzbekistan embassy as well in this auditorium at present. He passed away on 11 January 1966 after signing a peace treaty with Pakistan. And unfortunately, he was not there to continue for some more years as Prime Minister. And it is since then that this memorial lecture is being organized. And we normally do it on the 11th of January, which is the Punyatithi of Shastri ji, or the death anniversary. But on the request of Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, we had to postpone this, and we are doing this lecture today. I also welcome all the guests who are present here with us this evening. The topic that Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji has chosen, building an Atmanirbhar Bharat, is apt and relevant today. In fact, if we see, the seeds of self-reliance were sowed by Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri through his slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. The slogan which still resonates across the length and breadth of our nation symbolizes self-sufficiency in agriculture and self-reliance in defense. He always believed that if India had to grow and make a mark on the world map, it was essential that it was self-reliant in food and self-reliant in defense. Even now, we see at times pictures of Shastri ji standing on an army tank and also plowing a field at his residence, the then Prime Minister's house. Today, India has emerged as a major economic and military power in the world. The developed countries take notice of India's growth and expect other developing countries to replicate the Indian model. India is a self-respecting nation which does not need to go around anymore with a begging bowl for food and arms. The story does not end here. We have got to go beyond this, and that is perhaps the reason that Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, or Self-Reliant India campaign, is the vision of a new India envisaged by the government by announcing a special economic and comprehensive package of 20 lakh crore rupees, equivalent to 10% of our GDP. What also follows from the Atmanirbhar campaign is that each Indian should strive to be Atmanirbhar. You are respected if you are Atmanirbhar or do not have to depend on somebody financially. If parents today want to educate their child, want to educate the girl child and encourage her to take up a job, it is primarily because they want her to be self-reliant or Atmanirbhar and not to be dependent on anybody financially, including her husband. For the first time, what follows from is, for the first time in the country, Charu Sinha, a woman IPS officer from the Telangana cadre. Telangana is the state from where Venkaiah Naidu ji comes. For the first time in the country, Charu Sinha, a woman IPS officer from the Telangana cadre, has been appointed as Inspector General of Police of the Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF, Southern Sector. She is the first officer to be appointed as IG for 4 CRPF sectors. She says, right from an early age, I wanted to do something for the country, and hence I joined the forces. She says the path she chose was fraught with difficulties. She reveals that she faced discrimination on her way to becoming a leader. When I joined the force, it was difficult in the male-dominated field, she says, but she still made it. And the credit goes to her parents for having educated her and encouraged her to take up an assignment, a job. It is the people who make a nation. Hence, their Atmanirbharta leads to Atmanirbharta of the nation. If the people of a country are Atmanirbhar, it automatically follows the nation also will be Atmanirbhar or self-reliant. I once again welcome all of you to this prestigious memorial lecture, particularly our former Vice President, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, for having come here, taken his time to be with us this evening, and we look forward to listening to him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Although a man of Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu's stature doesn't need an introduction, I would still request Mr. Mudit Shastri, Trustee Lal Bahadur Shastri National Memorial Trust, to kindly familiarize the audience about Shri Naidu.
Good evening, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, and a very warm good evening to Mr. Anil Shastri and Mr. Sunil Shastri, and welcome to all of you present here. As ma'am said, it is something that is very difficult when it comes to introducing someone of the stature of Mr. Naidu. It is a humbling experience, honestly, talking about Mr. Naidu, and along with that, it is a big honor for me to be sharing a stage with Naidu sir along with Mr. Shastri, both Mr. Shastris, as they have been stalwarts of Indian politics since Naidu since 1970s and Mr. Shastri and Mr. Sunil Shastri since 1980s. So I might, over a period of time in this during the conversation, might fumble a little, but it's a big honor for me, and I would like to thank Lal Bahadur Shastri Trust in giving me this privilege of introducing someone of the stature of Mr. Naidu. Some of the anecdotes I distinctly remember about Mr. Naidu is that when he was Urban Development Minister, and it was somewhere in September and just before 2nd October when Shastri ji's birth anniversary happens. And I remember my father, Mr. Anil Shastri, struggling to get some work done in Vijay Ghat and the memorial. We had to refurbish the Samadhi and the memorial before the big event of 2nd October. And he just sent a message to Mr. Naidu, who was traveling at that time. I think he was in Hyderabad or somewhere. And he sent a message via his assistant, and in the next hour or so, he got a call back immediately. And instantly, he aligned the concerned officers and concerned people, and even though it was very short time and we had very low expectations in terms of setting up the entire Samadhi and museum, but with his extreme dedication and focus, Mr. Naidu ensured that the work was completed on time. So that is one thing that was the first time when I remember discussing in detail about Mr. Naidu and starting to understand how he has been a politician in Indian politics and how he has contributed to the society. Another thing that we thank him for is that he initiated the Shastri the statue inauguration of Shastri ji at CPWD Bhavan in Chennai, which was his brainchild, and thanks to him it has been set up, and that is perhaps the best statue of Lal Bahadur Shastri ji that is there in the country. I have seen and I have visited it a few times, so that's a big honor for the entire Shastri family and also the people of Tamil Nadu. Once during his tenure as vice president, he started started giving the Lal Bahadur Shastri award to there's an award that is run by the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management. So that award is given by the Vice President of India. He started that initiative. And during the initial award ceremony, I remember the students introducing the institute and saying LBSIM. And the first point that he raised was that you are honored to be associated with the name of Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. So you should not shorten the name. You should never use LBS. You should use Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, because it's the people who are born in the family. They were just lucky, but you guys actually have worked hard and become eligible to be part of the institute. And now you can use the name officially. So you should always use the full name and never shorten the name. So I distinctly remember these 2-3 anecdotes of Naidu sir, and it's been a pleasure knowing him. In fact, we've read a lot about him, how he has been, how honest he has been all through, and how the way he has conducted himself during his tenure as vice president and before that. And a lot of his speeches are there, which if we happen to read, or if we happen to go through them, you will see how witty he is, and how he can interact and keep everybody aligned to his lectures and speeches. So I was fortunate to read few of his speeches and lectures, and I was quite honored and happy about it. So I will try to introduce Mr. Naidu, though I don't think introduction is the right word for him, because he's absolutely well known by all. He was born on 1st of July 1949 in Chavetpalam in the Nellore district of Andhra Pradesh. He was initiated into mainstream politics very early in his students' days. The Jai Andhra movement in 1972 brought him to limelight. He championed the cause of farmers and development of backward areas all through his political journey. His illustrious career as people's representative, first as a 2-time MLA from Udaigiri and Nellore district, Rajya Sabha in 2004 and 2010, has been marked by a selfless service which has always been nation first and last. In the various offices held, Minister of Rural Development 1999, President of BJP 2002-2004, Minister of Parliament Affairs, Urban Development, Housing and Urban Poverty 2014-17, Information and Broadcasting 2016. He demonstrated the highest degree to probity and honesty in dealing with national affairs and served the cause of the nation with devotion and commitment. He was elected as the 13th Vice President of India on 11th August 2017. He dealt with diverse political interests with fairness and maintained the decorum in the Rajya Sabha. His efforts have all along been not to erode the quality and discourse of our polity, but to leave a legacy. Swan Bharat Trust, founded by him, is a manifestation of his concern for the poor while imparting self-employment training to the youth of the country. Some of his not to be missed publications, which I read recently, are selected speeches of Venkaiah Naidu, Volume 1, Listening, Learning and Leading, a chronicle of the VP of India's 2 years in office, Connecting, Communicating, Changing, VP's 3rd year in office, Moving On, Moving Forward, a year in office. So this is a brief introduction of Sir, and of course he's absolutely well known across the country and across the world, in fact. One point I would like to add about the topic, which is building an Atmanirbhar Bharat, and Mr. Shastri talked about how women have a key role in developing the country. It is a very topic very close to me. I also have a daughter who's turned 10 now, and I always wish and hope that she is able to contribute to the country. And myself being a political science student, I remember studying about Industrial Revolution. And if you notice, the biggest change in Industrial Revolution in the Western countries that happened in the early 1900s or before that, was that the 50% of that country's population, which were women, were initially not working, or most of them were not working. So we were losing out on the 50% of the contribution of the population, Western countries, which started happening during the Industrial Revolution. You can see a lot of, if you read the history, see a lot of images, you will see a lot of women starting to work, going out and starting to work across industries. This is something that was long overdue in India. It has started to pick up last few years, and hopefully in the coming decades, coming years, we will have a huge contribution from the 50% of our contribution, which has 50% of our population, which is a huge chunk. And I hope to see many women working hard and developing the country. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mudit ji. I would now like to invite our chief guest, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu, to deliver the 29th Lal Bahadur Shastri Memorial Lecture on the topic, Building an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Sir, please.
नमस्कार श्री अनिल शास्त्री जी, श्री सुनील शास्त्री जी, श्री मुदित शास्त्री, प्रोफेसर A. Das, Colonel Ajay Sood, distinguished guests, the other family members of Shastri ji, and my dear brothers and sisters. I am here to deliver the 29th Lal Bahadur Shastri ji Memorial Lecture this evening on a subject which was close to Shastri ji's heart, close to my heart also, and also initiated by Shastri ji and then continued by the present government also. In fact, I feel sorry that I could not agree initially because I was having severe cold, cough, and then the cough is subsided, but now again there is a problem of cold continues. So that's why I am not in a normal position because it's troubling me. I feel really happy to be here in this prestigious memorial lecture. My dear brothers and sisters, Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji was a visionary leader of his times, someone who has inspired many generations, as also of his times as well as succeeding ones, with his iconic leadership, simplicity, honesty, adherence to higher moral values, and uncompromising firmness on matters of national interest. It would be no exaggeration to say that Shastriji's transparent austerity, humility, and immaculate character have no parallel. He was above nepotism, like most leaders. He did not encourage his children by promoting them. The concept of dynastic politics was aligned to him. Shastriji's clarion call of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan resonates through our collective conscious to this day. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan aroused in us a powerful sense of confidence, combined with respect towards our brave soldiers and hard-working farmers. It was a slogan which strengthened our resolve to become strong, independent, and self-reliant. Not only did India emerge victorious under Shastriji's strong leadership of the nation during the 1965 war, but Pakistan and its powerful allies of the day saw that beneath the soft exterior of his exemplary leader lay a steely resolve. Sadly, in stark contrast today, opportunistic politics, marred by defections, betraying lack of ideological conviction, rule the roast, except few honorable exceptions. Public figures are driven by lust for power and vulgar nepotism. I call it as vulgar. Corruption is a pervasive concern, evil eating into the vitals of our society. We have fortunately a very honest and dedicated Prime Minister, but we need leaders at every level, up to the lowest level. So I feel that people who want to enter politics, who are entering politics, must have the caliber of Sri Shastri Ji as their role models. I am a strong fan of Lal Bahadur Shastri Ji, right from my student days. His simplicity, his honesty, and his firm resolve in protecting the national interest has impressed me, not only me, many. In spite of the government not giving that much importance, like you see, like many leaders, you find their statues, you find the institutions named after them. I don't want to get into controversy by criticizing any, but it's a fact that the needed importance which was due was not given to this great leader. But still, he is popular among the masses in spite of that. The reason being simple, as I said, because of his simplicity, honesty, and dedication and devotion for the sake of the nation. He had a passion for the nation, and he never did any omission or gave any remission. He always pursued the cause of the nation during his tenure and during his life, in whatever responsibilities he had. If Shastri Ji were to be administered today, he would certainly applaud, fully back the strides being made by India in all areas as it seeks to become increasingly Atmanirbhar Bharat under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Bhai Modi. There is no doubt, as was said earlier, Shastri Ji was a pioneer in the way he spearheaded the White Revolution and the Green Revolution, paving the way for the Atmanirbhar Bharat back in his days. Today, India stands on the cusp of a major transition, emerging as an important player on the global stage. It is now the fifth largest economy, and it is being estimated that we will become, if we continue this tempo, and if all of us join together, we can become the third largest economy in the world. India is being recognized, respected, admired throughout the world, though certain forces on the Western side, they are not able to appreciate, particularly the colonial rulers, about India's growth. That's why you find more often here and there negative stories about India and its growth and its civilizational values. We are the largest democracy in the world, and we are the true secular country in the world. And these other countries who try to give us sermons and lectures, in practice, what they are doing, if you analyze, you will understand the true secularism followed by this country. Because I don't attribute it to one particular government or party, because secularism is in the blood and veins of every Indian because of our heritage, our culture, and our traditions which are given to us by our forefathers. And India, once upon a time known as Vishwa Guru, and also before the colonial rule, India was used to be accounted to nearly 30% of the world wealth. But India never attacked any country. We don't believe in colonialism. And we want to be strong, stable. And the slogan of Atmanirbhar Bharat also was given by Shastriji at that time, that we should think in terms of being self-reliant. And then we must be able to in a position to help others. Share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. Share and care. Vasudaika Kutumbakam. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. That has been our tradition. So we believe in that. So all of us who are all there in public life, not only in politics, in various life, must adhere to this. There may be here and there few forces giving some slogans and making some comments and all. But country as a whole, our civilization, we stand for this self-reliance, not to, as I told you, boss over anybody or anything. We want to acquire wisdom. We want to acquire wealth to help others. That is the greatness of this nation. Our vaccine manufacturers responded during the COVID crisis with alacrity during the pandemic, which disrupted lives globally. Thus, they have saved the lives of millions of Indians, as also others in various parts of the world. In just over a year, the Government of India, under the humanitarian initiative of Vaccine Maitri, succeeded in delivering 16.29 crore doses to 96 countries. On the domestic front, India administered 2.2 billion doses in the world's largest vaccination drive. My dear sisters and brothers, the surging entrepreneurial spirit of a resurgent new India can be seen with over 86,000 startups. The Startup India initiative launched in 2016 for building a strong ecosystem to nurture innovation and startups in the country has clearly been a runaway success. Now, women, girls, they are also joining the educational field in large numbers. That should be further enhanced and supported. Women should get an equal opportunity. I personally feel women should be given equal right in property, equal opportunity in various fields. I don't talk about particular percentage of reservation, but women needs to be encouraged, promoted. That should be the commitment of all of us. And I go around the country as Vice President and now as former Vice President, and I go to various educational institutions and then I sometimes deliver convocation address and also distribute medals and all. 65% of the meritorious awards and gold medals, girls are in the forefront. This is a welcome trend. This should be further strengthened and they should really get their due. My dear sisters and brothers, India also took a major leap towards Atmanirbharata in the space sector when the first rocket built by country's private sector recently, Vikram S, took off on November 18, 2022. Similarly, our strides in the strategic domain of defense are exemplified by the launching of India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, and indigenous stealth guided by missile destroyer, INS Mormugaon. To cite another such instance, INS Wazir, the fifth stealth Scorpion class submarine was commissioned into the Indian Navy in January this year. The upgrade Arjun Mk2, the third generation of main battle tank MBT developed by the DRDO, has a range of futuristic features on par with the most advanced competitors in the world. This is a movement towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. And we have not only sufficient food grains to feed our people, and we also have surplus food grains to support the other hungry, needed nations. This is Atmanirbhar Bharat. And today, our boys and girls, they are becoming now CEOs of many of the multinational companies. Because I feel this land, this water, this air has something special. There is inherent skill among the people. What is required and what is being done is to recognize and promote that skill. That's why we take up this skill upgradation program also. When it comes to the Indian Railways, Vande Bharat Express, the indigenously built semi-high-speed trains designed and developed by Integral Coach Factory in Chennai is yet another feather in India's Atmanirbhar cap. The use of aluminum in the train's body is expected to help reduce its carbon footprint significantly. On the agriculture scene, as I told you, during this COVID crisis, every sector is affected to some extent or other. The only sector which totally survived and also produced record food grains is the agriculture sector. Hats off to the Indian farmers. They have produced food grains in excess of what they used to produce earlier. That is the greatness of farmers, the inspiration of the recall given by Shastriji at the time. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. How significant it is, how powerful message it is, you can understand. He saw the potential and he gave that slogan to inspire people. For instance, food grain production increased to 315.72 million tons in December 2022 as per the fourth advanced estimates, which is the highest ever recorded. Today, India stands second in the production of wheat as well as rice globally. My dear friends, when it comes to the key IT sector, it is ironic that our software engineers working for large MNCs who develop many products which we buy from these giant companies as finished products at a steep cost. Our talented pool of software engineers should help India become Atmanirbhar Bharat in software development, especially with respect to OS operating systems. In seeking to build an Atmanirbhar Bharat, we must fully leverage our demographic dividend. Over 50% of our population is below 30 years, and more than 64% of the population is under 35 years of age. Globally, India is seen as the future talent factory of the world with the largest pool of human resources. This itself gives us a qualitative edge in multiple fields. Tapped to their full potential, the talent and creative energies of our young minds will drive India into a league of the most powerful, self-reliant nations on the world stage. The progress we as a country have achieved in a handful of chosen domains illustrates the development trajectory of a resurgent Atmanirbhar Bharat. Moving into Amrit Kal, we are now celebrating 75 years of India's independence. I am sure we will get the rightful place in the Committee of Nations, a powerful global player, and we have to continue this momentum of development journey in order to attain this goal. My dear friends, for that, we must, as I was emphasizing earlier, we must be simple. We must be true Bharatiyas. See Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, his attire was so simple, but still people recognized him, irrespective of the height, because he has risen to such heights in the memory of the people by his boldness, by his honesty. That is what is required today. The present day generation of youngsters should read about Shastri ji. Our textbooks of all courses, there should be a separate chapter on the life of Shastri ji's teachings and preachings so that it inspires the generations. Simplicity, dedication, devotion, determination. These are all the requirements. And also, we must be Bharatiyas in our thought, in our action, in our appearance also. I am very clear about it. For that, we must promote our Indian languages, mother tongue. I always emphasize, everyone should keep in mind and respect four things. One, mother, who has given us the beautiful birth. Mother. We call India also Mother India, motherland. We don't call it as fatherland. No disrespect to father. Motherland. That is the civilization of India. And also the native place. You must, back home, you must do something to your native place. And thirdly, mother tongue that has come from mother's womb. We must promote, practice, propagate the usage of mother tongue. First, in the house, we must be conversing with each other in our respective mother tongue. Because of the colonial rule and also the initial education policy, our children, or even elders' parents also tell their children, Babu, call mummy, daddy. Mummy, daddy. ये कहाँ से आया? माँ. Say ma, it comes from the heart. Say mummy, it comes from the lips. Very simple. When I became vice president, the media people asked me, sir, now that you have become vice president, I said, yes. They were again stressing on that. I said, what is your problem? Tell me. So they said, sir, what about the dress? I said, no change of dress, only change of address. I am in 30 Abdul Kalam Road. I will be moving to 6 Maulana Azad Road. And I attend international conferences, except in extreme weather conditions. I go by my normal attire. So everybody, they were respecting. And also, during our conversation also, we must treat every other person as brother or sister, elderly people. The language plays an important role in our civilization. So the language, I feel, up to the high school, the education has to be in mother tongue. And later, of course, as a language you can learn English from the beginning. But now people are saying learn English, go through English medium and learn your mother tongue as a language. Why? This charity in our own country. We must promote educational system in our mother tongue. Some people have doubts there. If you don't read English medium, if you don't go through convent, you will not come up. One boy asked me, sir, you are stressing on mother tongue, okay, But if you don't go to English medium, then you will not go up. I told him, what do you mean? He said, sir, you can't go up. Then I told him in a writer, I spoke to God recently through ISD, and I asked him, sir, is there any restriction to reach you about the medium? He said, no. Anybody whose time is expired, after the expiry of time, anybody can come here without any language barriers. He said, no, sir, you are just saying it in a writer manner. I am talking of going up. Then I gave him an example. I want to give an example today also here. The President of India, present and past, they studied in their mother tongue. The Vice President, myself, earlier former Vice President, I never went to convent. I studied in a village school, walked 4 kilometers a day to go to school and come back. And then the Chief Justice who have just retired, Justice Ramana, he said openly, I have had my initial education in mother tongue. Then the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Bhai Modi, he did not go to any convent. So President, Vice President, Chief Justice and Prime Minister, these are supposed to be the top posts, na? You have seen, this is a live example. I am not suggesting that we should not learn English. Learn as many languages as possible. Go through the history of Germany, even Russia, France, even China, many other countries. They pursue their education initially in their respective languages. Even the foreign dignitaries who come here, they don't speak English except Europeans. They speak in their mother tongue and there is a translation. One day, some time back, I asked my sister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, late Sushma Swaraj, yeah, Sushma ji, लोगों को अंग्रेजी मालूम है क्या? She said, many of them know English, but they don't speak. They like to speak and feel proud to speak in their mother tongue. And there is a translation. But only for us this weakness, either we know English or not, we try to speak in English. And this English thinking, small, as it was mentioned earlier, Lal Bahadur Shastri. There are certain places and certain roads named here and there. LB Nagar. Lal Bahadur Shastri Nagar, LB Nagar. Who is LB? How do you recognize? And I was going through a road in Hyderabad, MG Road. I thought MG Ramachandran is popular in Hyderabad. They said, no, sir, Mahatma Gandhi Road. And then there is another SP Road in Secunderabad. SP Road. I thought this superintendent of police is so powerful that a road has been named after him. They said, no, sir, Sardar Patel Road. Sardar Patelji has become SP. Mahatma Gandhi has become MG. And Lal Bahadur Shastri SB. Why? Can't we pronounce the full name? Full name has to be used. That is our culture, our tradition. The short, these things. That is now our children also are getting, and they don't call their neighbor and friend also in full name. Now some of the boys or girls, they are saying, bro. What is bro? I don't know. Bro means brother. And they say, Anna, brother, sister. ये भी weakness हो गया. This is also another weakness because of the education. Learn English, nothing wrong. First learn mother tongue. Learn Hindi, because that is the largest spoken language. Some people again raise the issue of Hindi, non-Hindi, imposition. And I was there in deep south. Someone asked me. I said, no imposition. They were clapping. I said, no opposition. That is my proposition. No imposition, no opposition. There is no proposition. Because large number of people, they learn Hindi. In my student days, I was nearer to Chennai, my place, Nellore. So there was anti-Hindi agitation. We all came out of the school, and then those days, agitation means happy. Bunking the school and then enjoying holiday. We came out and then started shouting Hindi, down, down. And then we got a doubt, by Hindi हमारा शहर में है कहाँ? Each one was looking to other. And one boy told, there is Hindi in two places in our Nellore. What was that? Railway station and post office. So we got into two batches, went there to put tar on those. But later we realized we put tar on our face. Because I became RNA General Secretary, became President. You don't know the language spoken by a large number of people, and you go and talk to the people in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Chhattisgarh, in Jharkhand and villages, and you try to speak in English. They don't understand. Not only this, many. So we must try to learn as many Indian languages as possible. This is my advice to the younger generation. First, read in your mother tongue. Practice mother tongue at home. Medium of communication at home should be mother tongue. Like some of the colleges and schools, medium of education is English. And also only English. I say only mother tongue at home. That's my suggestion to all. This is how we can protect our civilization. And the boy or the girl, in the early age, they will be able to easily communicate, translate their thoughts in the mother tongue, or understand. If you teach them English initially, the boy has to learn English language and also subject. If you teach him in mother tongue, straight away, only subject. He will understand. This is simple. But I don't know. But I'm happy that the new educational policy is a right movement in right direction. It is giving stress on imparting mother tongue and also the life and teachings of our great leaders like Lal Bahadur Shastri and there are many other leaders. They should be part of our history. Our history books till recently, even the history I studied, Robert Clive the Great kahan se? People who came and ruled us, ruined us, they are great. Not Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, not Rana Pratap, not Veerapandya Kattabomman, not Jhansi Lakshmi Bai. Many history books. Robert Clive, Alexander the Great. For what? This is how our minds were tuned by the Englishers. And even now they want us to remember them, and there are some perverted people here in this country who go outside and say, British rule is better. Fortunately, no politician said like that. Some other so-called big person, I don't want to name him. We should be proud of our culture, our heritage, our system. If there are problems internally, shortcomings, yes, we must highlight them. And our youngsters who are entering into politics, they must commit themselves to the probity in public life, honesty and simplicity. And we should allow our parliament and legislature to function fully. And then my solution, as even late Pranab Mukherjee also has said, 3D formula, discuss, debate and decide, do not disrupt. Disrupt, fourth D is not necessary. That do not mean opposition means we should also join the bandwagon of the government. No. Oppose. Let the government propose. Let the opposition oppose. Let the House dispose. House is elected by the people. You have to go by the mandate of the people. There is no other way. This has to be followed scrupulously by all. Otherwise, democracy will be weakened. Our youngsters, they look to parliamentarians, legislators for guidance. And some of them, they are our role models. What is the role model we are? You have seen in some certain states, the scenes in legislative assemblies, at times even in parliament also. They don't enhance the image of leaders. Leaders should be setting examples by their conduct. Why we are remembering Shastri ji or Sardar Patel or many great leaders? Because of their conduct, because of their dedication, because of their commitment. We should take such leaders as the role models. And as I was telling earlier, our history books must be full of stories of such great leaders. There are leaders in the regions also. I was mentioning about Veerapandi Kattabomman, Alluri Sitaramaraju, Komaram Bhim, different people, Birsa Munda. They are not regional leaders. They are national leaders from a region initially. But again, we take the phrase of regional leaders and all. They are national leaders. The nation must give due recognition to such great people. So, back to the subject, my dear sisters and brothers, this Atmanirbhar Bharat, the call initially given by Shastri ji, should inspire all of us. And we should, in every field, not only in food grain production, not only in science and technology, not only in space, not in every sector, we must be Atmanirbhar. We must be producing whatever is required for the country, food, security, defense, in every field. Then only it will be really an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So let us get inspiration from Shastri ji's Atmanirbhar Bharat and respect our Jawans who are sacrificing their lives for the sake of the nations. We should not do anything to denigrate, to further our political this thing. We should not drag army into this controversies. They are working in extreme weather conditions in Jammu Kashmir. Certain powers, they are trying to create trouble and create controversies about Kashmir, about other issues and all. Kashmir is an integral part of India. Our Jawans are there to protect us, safeguard the security of the country. We should admire them always. And also our Kisans, they are also producing food grains in adverse seasonal and weather conditions, going through many hardships. They should always be respected, and our politicians, whoever stands for honesty. So that's why if he is in politics, we must have a 4C formula. I conclude by touching this subject. 4C: character, caliber, capacity, and conduct. These 4 C's are full in display in Shastriji's. But some of the modern day politicians, they have invented substitutes for these 4 C's. The new 4 C's are caste, community, cash, and criminality. Forget their first 4 C's. This is what is being done by some people in order to derive temporary political benefit. We should adhere to the original 4 C's and see to it that every one of us follow that. Once again, I would like to thank Anil Shastri ji and his other family members, and the institute which they are running. I had an occasion to interact with some of the youngsters. They are doing a great job. That such institutes should be promoted in the larger interest of the country, and also, as I was suggesting, that our youngsters should visit the life of Shastri ji, visit the life and get inspiration from his teachings and preachings. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring address. May I now request Professor Praveen Gupta, Director, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi, to kindly present a memento to our chief guest, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu, as a token of our appreciation. I request our director to kindly felicitate our chief guest. Thank you, sir. May I now request Shri Sunil Shastri, Trustee, Lal Bahadur Shastri National Memorial Trust, to kindly deliver the words of thanks. Please, sir.
Respected Venkaiah Naidu ji, Anil Bhaiya ji, ladies and gentlemen and friends. It's indeed a pleasure for me to propose a vote of thanks to Venkaiah ji, whom I consider as one of the very good son of India, not leader, a son of India. He's a man who is absolutely straightforward. He clears everything very correctly. He speaks to you very open heart. And I don't think today, this time in politics, these days, I don't think anybody speaks with an open heart. लेकिन वेंकैया जी की बात बहुत ख़ास है, और ख़ास ये इसलिए है कि वो केवल अपने काम से नहीं मतलब रखते, वो अपना काम लोगों से, जो उनका काम है, उसको पहले समझते हैं, फिर अपनी बात कहते हैं। तो ये बहुत कम लोगों में दिखाई देता है। आज आप जाएं किसी के पास और कुछ काम लेकर पहुँचें, तो पहले तो आपको देखेगा नहीं, आपकी तरफ देखेंगे नहीं, दूसरी तरफ फिर फाइल उठाई और फाइल पर कुछ लिखते जाएंगे और क्या कर रहे हैं समझ नहीं आ रहा है। और उसके बाद फिर तब क्या है आपका, अच्छा अभी तो समय नहीं है हमारे पास, हम देखेंगे बाद में और आपके बारे में ज़रूर सोचेंगे। इस तरह से चलता है आजकल की राजनीति। और इन्होंने बात की आज लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी की, कि शास्त्री जी ने राजनीति कैसे किया, कितने सुंदर तरीके से इन्होंने हम लोगों के सामने वो तस्वीर खींच दी, वो चित्र खींच दिया कि आज बाबूजी हमारे लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी होते तो कैसे करते, क्या करते और कैसे होता. So I think he is very, very clear in his talk and his views, and he has very nicely said. और मैं तो डर रहा था कि कहीं ये ना कह दें ये कि आज का टॉपिक जो है आत्मनिर्भर भारत, इसका शॉर्ट फॉर्म बोल दें ANB. अब लीजिए, कुछ समझेगा ही नहीं ANB क्या है, आत्मनिर्भर भारत. जैसे ने बताया सड़क का कि LB शास्त्री मार्ग, लाल बहादुर ने लिखा, सरदार पटेल, तो ये बिल्कुल सही बात कह रहे हैं. ये दिल को लगती है, दिल को चुभती है. नॉट बिकॉज बाबूजी वॉज माई फादर, लाल बहादुर शास्त्री वॉज माई फादर, इसलिए नहीं, किसी के लिए भी शॉर्टकट इस तरह करना, ये सब क्या हो रहा है? ये खिलवाड़ हो रहा है सोसाइटी के साथ, ये मजाक हो रहा है. लेट अस ऑल बी वेरी प्रैक्टिकल. अब हम लोग अपने आने वाली जनरेशन को अगर सही मार्गदर्शन नहीं दिखाएंगे, सही रास्ता नहीं दिखाएंगे, तो क्या होगा? तो मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि आज का जो आपने वेंकैया जी, what you have spoken today has really encouraged all of us and made us all very happy. थोड़ा सा आपने अपना स्टाइल में जो बात किया उससे लोग को हंसी भी आई, ताली बजाया सबने, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा. And I think there is, I can go to the extent of even saying, no comparison to your leadership anywhere. I will go to that extent. You are a wonderful man. You are a person who is loved by everyone. Everyone likes you. That is the greatest achievement of your life. आज आपको हर आदमी पहचाने, आपको जाने, आपको माने, तो इसके आगे कौन हो सकता है? क्या चाहिए? तो आज वेंकैया जी, मैं आपके प्रति आभार प्रकट करता हूँ ट्रस्टी के नाते. एंड मोर देन ट्रस्टी से ज़्यादा, आई थिंक लिटिल यंगर टू यू इन एज, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. ज़्यादा तो नहीं, लेकिन आपके छोटे भाई की तरह आपसे, लाइक ए यंगर ब्रदर, आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्लीज़ go on with the same spirit, with the same courage and determination and dedication as Lal Bahadur Shastri did. You will certainly be always be remembered by all of us. And आज का जो आपने शाम को इतनी शानदार बना दी, उसके लिए मैं आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ, आभार प्रकट करता हूँ. इन शब्दों के साथ, अब आई थिंक द वेदर ऑल्सो हैज़ चेंज. आपका गला भी बहुत ख़राब हो गया. हम सबका तो गला राजनीति में आने के बाद ख़राब हो गया, एक्सेप्ट अनिल भैया. ही इज़ अ वंडरफुल सिंगर, ही इज़ अ वंडरफुल सिंगर. एंड क्या गाते हैं आपको मालूम है? मैं तो बहुत थक गया फ़ोन सुनते सुनते कि भाई आपके ब्रदर अनिल भैया बहुत अच्छा गाते हैं. तो मैंने कहा हाँ सुनने वाले, लेकिन मैंने कहा आपने कहा सुना? उन्होंने कहा हम तो सुन रहे हैं आजकल, आपके यूट्यूब में आ रहा है. तो हम कभी यूट्यूब वगैरह देखते नहीं, हम लोग अब अलग आ रहे. अब बच्चे हमारे सब देखते हैं, लेकिन बट वी विल नॉट सी, वी डोंट सी एंड. तो बट फिर मुझे वाइस चांसलर ने कहा, नॉट 1, 10 वाइस चांसलर VCs have rang me up in Rajasthan, in from Hyderabad. They have rang me up and they have told me that he is a wonderful singer. आप प्लीज़ उनका नंबर मुझे दे दीजिए. तो मैंने फिर नंबर दिया उनका, and they talked to him and they congratulated him. So this is the real life. आप अपना मस्त रहिए, मज़े में रहिए, खुश रहिए. I think that is the real life. And बाबूजी का जो एक था बात, what he used to tell me was always hard work is the real prayer. He used to say, he used to tell me, hard work Sunil is the real prayer. तुम अच्छा काम करोगे, अच्छे मजबूती के साथ करोगे, तो तुम्हें लोग याद रखेंगे. अगर तुम ऐसे ही इधर से उधर की बात करोगे तो पीपल विल नॉट रिमेंबर यू. तो आई थिंक हमारे सामने तो सब बैठे, राजनाथ साहब बैठे हैं, पृथ्वी जी हैं, सब लोग हैं, देर ऑल हमारे A.K. श्रीवास्तव हैं. तो मैं तो समझता हूँ कि ऐसे लोगों के साथ कंपनी अगर हम लोगों की ट्रस्ट की बनी रहेगी और चलेगा, तो विल रियली गो अहेड एंड फॉरवर्ड. मैं ज़्यादा नहीं कहकर आप सबको I welcome you all with a real heart and with an open heart, with all my feelings. अपनत्व की भावना से मैं आप सबका आभार प्रकट करता हूँ, आप सबका आदर करता हूँ, सम्मान करता हूँ कि आप यहाँ पर आ जाए और हमारे इस कार्यक्रम को आपने पूरा शोभा दिया और इसको अच्छा सुंदर बनाया। इन शब्दों के साथ मैं पुनः अपने चीफ गेस्ट आदरणीय वेंकैया नायडू जी को धन्यवाद देते हुए आभार प्रकट करता हूँ और अनिल भैया को विशेष तौर से I would like to congratulate him and I would like to request him to keep up the singing thing, but along with singing, he's a very serious man also. He's a wonderful person. He's my elder brother, but I tell you, he really guides us, all of us, in the right spirit, right way. आज अगर कोई भी बात मुझे आ जाती है मेरे सामने, if I'm not able to solve it, I only go to him. Because he is the eldest now. So I tell him कि भाई ऐसा ऐसा है क्या करें, तो he tells me, he gives me a real guidance. So that is what is the need of the hour. मैं तो आज समझता हूँ आज के ज़माने में इस सब की आवश्यकता है बहुत, और ये सब अगर रहता है तो हम अपने आप में आत्मनिर्भर हर क्षेत्र में बन जाएंगे, कोई रोक नहीं पाएगा। आत्मनिर्भर आपको रियली जनरेट करना पड़ेगा। हर आदमी की फीलिंग आनी चाहिए सबको कि हमें आत्मनिर्भर होना है। अगर आत्मनिर्भर हम नहीं सोचेंगे तो हम कुछ आगे नहीं कर सकेंगे। तो वी हैव टू थिंक दैट हम आत्मनिर्भर को कैसे अपना बनाएं। इन शब्दों के साथ once again I thank all of you very much from the core of my heart and welcome you here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. As we have come to the end of today's program, I would like to thank all of you for your esteemed presence. I would like to request you all to join us for high tea. Thank you and have a good evening. Thank you.